and it is the little prince, the little chief, Hosana. Hello, boyo. Looking hot, but fat. Now, Shongile and Karula were seen a little bit to the south, not far from here. So I think he's just wandering around chasing things like he does from time to time. They were all seen together this morning. Over. So there he is. You can see how heavily he's breathing from the heat. And he has also got quite a full belly. So he's by no means starving. And there you can see that little damp bit on his bottom jaw and on his top lip. He's been having a drink. Look how he's folding his ears as he comes up to the edge of the dam wall. In case there's potential prey around. What you spotted? He's having a look, seeing if there's any squirrels to chase. I know a lot of you have been quite worried that he's lost his mom for a little bit, but leopards at this age often lose their mothers. It's not uncommon at all, but they normally do find them again. And they're quite capable of catching enough to survive. Look how he's going into that hunting pose, ears flat. What has he spotted? Nothing, he just doesn't want to be spotted. Okay, we're going to move around to the other side of him. So we've got Netherlands, Sweden, France, Australia, South Africa, and of course the US. So it sounds like we've got someone from everywhere today. Yeah, we're just going to get ourselves into a good spot opposite him, and also so we can see what he might be seeing on the other side in case a poor unsuspecting impala wanders up. I forgot about that log. Oh, there we go. Over, done. Oh, Chandra, did it nearly hit you? Ah, a little stick attacked Chandra. Okay, now Shongile was seen probably about 400 or 500 meters from here, just to the south of us, outside of our traverse zone. But Mr. Hosana is on the move. Here we go. Here we go. There he is, nice and warm. I'm surprised he's sitting on the damn wall like that, and it's probably still going to be still quite hot. Now Alice in Ohio, hi Alice. Alice would like to know, do I think is his nose turning darker? Not particularly darker than it was when I saw him last, which was 2 days ago. But it will get dark as he gets older. I also think his nose might look a little bit darker because he might have popped it in the water while he was having a drink a little bit earlier. He's getting very big very quickly. Still not quite the same size as Karula just yet. Yes, his nose looks like it's got a bit of mud on it. You're putting your nose in the mud, you silly boy. He's tired now. It's tough chasing squirrels and dwarf mongooses and francolins. Hi, Steph, who's in Belgium. There's another country. Steph would like to know, is the heavy breathing cooling him down? It'll help, Steph. So the panting is how most of the big cats will cool themselves. But the ground is so hot, he's getting up and moving constantly. So what happens is he's got lots of blood vessels in his mouth, and particularly in his tongue. So what he does is the faster he breathes over it, the quicker it will transport that cooled blood around his body. I said this is quite a strange place for him to lie, specifically since, well, the sun's not out, but this hard dam wall would have definitely retained quite a lot of heat from the beating sun of today. The reason we rushed here so quickly is because Karula is still in the south, so he might quite easily pop back down to the south quickly. So that's why we had to speed to get here. And it seems like we got here in time for him to take a little rest. He is going to grow into quite a big male leopard, I think, and he's filling out quite nicely at the moment. So Ephraim's just arrived. I was just waving hello. Now the nice thing about leopards of this age is they are quite busy. They are proper little busy bodies, and they will keep moving even when you think it's a bit too hot for them to be moving, but they have insatiable curiosity, and that's one of the most awesome things. I think young male leopards for me are incredible things to spend time with because they're always up to something, and hopefully he's going to spend quite a bit of time on Djuma. Oh, he's gone right flat down. And as I said, he hasn't chosen the best place to sleep because that ground is very hot. Well, hello Dee from Delta. Dee would like to know, are the cubs now independent from their mothers, or is Karula still catching food for them? Karula is still definitely catching food for both of them. And she's probably going to still catch food for this guy for probably another year or maybe even a bit more. I wonder how long he's going to be able to last on that hot ground before he decides to move again. Last time was about 4 minutes, I think. Now all the doves calling in the background as they come down towards the waterhole to drink. Hello, Sophie. Sophie is 5 years old and watching all the way from Moscow. Sophie would like to know which leopard's my favorite. That is a very difficult question, Sophie. I would think I do like Shongile a lot, but I'm still waiting to see how she grows into her personality. I think out of the young leopard, Shongile is my favorite. Oh, I don't know. Was Hosana my favorite? I think they're tie favorite out of the young leopards. But from the adult females, I think my favorite is Nkanyeni, the female leopard. And out of the adult males, I would have to say Quarantine. Quarantine's brother used to be my favorite, but we don't see him anymore. He's moved way down to the south. So while he snoozes, we're not going to move a muscle. We're going to stick here with him. But in the meantime, let's go see where Jamie is and what she's up to. Well, his head's up. He's looking down to the south where his sister and mother apparently are. Now, I'm hoping he spots a squirrel or something to stalk. Now, Alina's wondering if a leopard breaks its whiskers or lose them, do they grow back? I would expect they do, Alina, like the rest of their fur. They will grow back. Maybe sometimes not as long as before, or maybe sometimes longer. So yes, they do grow back. Oh, hot kitty. Has he got a tick in the middle of his one spot there on his neck, Chandra? Or is that just a piece of stone from where he was lying?
Ew.
I think it's a stone. Oh, yeah. Hi, Jen in Missouri. Jen's wondering, would this young male leopard act any differently if he had no clue where his mom is? Possibly, but he would still be as relaxed as he is with the vehicles. He's grown up with the vehicles. He might walk around calling softly, but even then that would only be after a couple of days. And generally only if they've been chased by lions or baboons or something like that. But normally he'll just wait for mom to find him. I hear some bird alarm calls up to the north. Nah, I think it's a false alarm. Hi, Stephen in the UK. Stephen would like to know, does a leopard's tail serve a purpose? Indeed it does, Stephen. It helps them with balance, number one, and also that white fluffy tip is a wonderful following mechanism for young leopards to follow their mothers. Yeah, well, we're going to stick with him. Hopefully he finds something interesting to chase shortly. While we do that, Jamie's got something that we'll definitely want to avoid young Hosana. Well, young Hosana is battling the biting flies at the moment, and they seem to have found him, and he's just trying to get away from them. He's going to go into the thorns. I don't know if that's going to help with your biting fly problem, mister. Amazing how he's able to move through those prickly branches. Was he spotted his sister or his mother returning? It doesn't look like it. It just seems like he was trying to find a spot away from the biting flies. And you stood on a thorn. Oh, you got it out quite quickly though. You might go down for another drink. It is excruciatingly warm at the moment. Hi, Caroline. Caroline would like to know if I think he will allow me to approach him on foot. Well, Caroline, I have approached him on foot quite a few times. And as long as you don't go too close, he is quite a nice leopard to walk. But as soon as you get too close, he is going to run away. Okay, let's get down to where he is. I'm always keeping a lookout for either Karula or Shongile if they decide to wander through to join him. Hello, Mr. Man. There we go. That looks a little bit more comfortable than that warm, hot floor you were sleeping on. Hello, Anne in Canada. Anne is wondering about leopard spot patterns, and she'd like to know whether it's identified as a cub or when it's older. It's as a cub, Anne. It's not going to change as they get older. He's trying to find a cool spot to sleep. He's so hot, shame, mister. Hot and all the stable flies are biting you. It's a tough day. Got bored waiting for Mom. Okay, it looks like he might go have a drink. Let's just get around to the other side. He might be just looking for a cool place to sleep again. Yes, he is. Well, let's go around to the opposite side in case he does want to have a drink at a later stage. How's that, Chandra? Good? There he is. It's a little bit cooler down here. Seems he hasn't managed to rid himself of the biting flies that found him on top of the wall. Hi Freya, who's a new viewer, a big Safari Live. Welcome to you, Freya. Great to have you with us. Now Freya's asking, don't leopards live in trees? Well, Freya, that's one of the big misconceptions. 99% of the time when you see a leopard, it is on the ground. Oh, I thought I heard something behind me. And they only really climb into trees. Sometimes they'll go up when it's hot to get away from the heat. Maybe there's a slight breeze higher. What has he spotted? Is there anything behind me? I can't see what he's looking at. Oh, he maybe just saw something. He's curious at this age. Now, as I was saying, they will generally only be in trees when they've put a kill up a tree. So there we go. Jandre is being very creative. Sometimes they will use a tree as a vantage point while they're hunting, go up to see if there's any prey up ahead. But normally you will find leopards on the ground. Whatever caught his interest is no longer catching his interest. He's gone back down. Still sort of interested. I think he's heard something. There, now he's disinterested. I'm just trying to keep quiet to see if I could hear if Karula was contact calling. But I'm not hearing any contact calls from his mom, so she's probably still out hunting. Yoli would like to know, why won't Hosana cool down in the water that he's lying right next to? Well, Yoli, it's a very, very simple answer to that question, is that he's grown up in Africa, and most bodies of water in Africa have crocodiles in it. So instinctively, leopards, lions, and most cats will try and stay out of the water. Now, there are leopards that can swim and will swim when they have to, but if they have a choice to, they won't. They have an inherent fear of water due to crocodiles. Now, it all depends on the area as well. So leopards that live in the great rainforests of Africa, in the Congo Basin, Gabon, Central African Republic, will actually swim quite regularly because they have to. It's the only way to get from point A to B. But in the real thick forests and the forest lakes, there are not many Nile crocodiles. You get slender snouted crocodiles, and dwarf crocodiles would actually leopard prey on quite frequently. So in areas where there are a lot of Nile crocodiles, leopards will try avoid water at all costs. But they can swim, they just don't like doing it. And particularly in this area, there's not nearly enough water for them to swim regularly. Or not nearly enough water for them to be forced to swim regularly. We're going to sit here, see if his sister or mother arrives or if he disappears. While we do that, let's go see what Jamie's up to. Rushed back. Look at this. That impala hasn't even seen him, and it's going to be very interesting to see. It's an adult female impala, if he makes a play at that. Now, that impala has not seen him at all. It's walked down to come have a drink. He hasn't moved. He's probably about 9-10 meters. It's running towards him. It's running towards him. It still hasn't seen him. Now, this might be a bit big for him. Oh, maybe he got a sixth sense that something's up. Now, the impala is still around. I can't see it. I think it's behind a bush. We're not going to move the vehicle. Now, it would be really interesting if a baby impala had come with her. He's probably strong enough to take down an adult female impala. It might be a bit of a challenge for him. Oh, look at his ears turn as soon as he heard baboons in the distance. He doesn't like baboons. Those of you might remember that he nearly got caught by baboons when you were watching with James. Let's just go back a little bit. I think that impala's decided it's safer to go drink elsewhere. But I think that impala probably could smell him, but couldn't see him. Just want to see where that impala is. Still there. It's going back towards the water. The next set of water. Okay, he's after it. There we go. He's using that dam wall. The impala's just on the other side. There we go. Now keep your head down, Nana. Other way. Left, left. Are you going to get spotted, mister? Yes, impala's just to the left. There we go. Look at him go. So that impala's directly behind him now. It looks like he might be trying to utilize the available cover to get closer to that impala. Okay, let's just get into a good spot. So this is really exciting. Now this is what young leopards do when their mom's away. Now even if this hunt is a failure, it's practice, practice, practice makes perfect. So from his position, we're just going to drive past him so we don't attract attention to him. From his position, it's going to be very difficult now because there's only this very limited bit of cover, and that impala can definitely smell something's wrong. So there's the impala. Oh, yes, there we go. Did he pop his head up? But she can smell. You can just see she smelt him. She smelt him, and I think he missed his moment when she was at the waterhole, because that was the only time he was close enough to make that pounce. See, when she ran away, he's just laid up on top of the damn wall now, given up. Maybe you should stick to squirrels for a little longer. So we're going to leave him shortly. His mom's not here. It's getting dark. We're not going to put any spotlights on him. So that was a really exciting little period there. I thought he might pounce on his first big kill. Wouldn't that have been exciting? Mike says, from a squirrel to an impala, what a change in 1 week. Yes, I think he's probably chased quite a few impala with little success. I think he's definitely probably very, very scary for the squirrels still. I think another couple of months before he's really scary for impala. Okay, Mr. Hosana, thank you very much for keeping us entertained. As I said, getting quite dark now, so I'm going to leave him be. And carry on to see what else we can find in the last section of the show. While we do that, let's go see what Jamie's up to.